Hey everybody, Caffeine Man here, and today we're going to be talking a little bit more seriously. Today, I'm going to go over how to detox from caffeine. Why would Caffeine Man be talking about how to lower your caffeine, or worse, completely eliminate it? Well, because some people actually develop medical conditions where they're not allowed to have caffeine anymore. Other people may have an extremely high caffeine intake and want to reduce it. And there are even some people that realize that they are addicted to this highly addictive legal drug, and they're worried about what this excessively high intake may be doing to their bodies due to some side effects. And it's all coming right up. Just having some green tea. It's good for you. If you're new to my channel and you want to stay informed on all things caffeine related, feel free to hit the subscribe button. I post new videos every Tuesday night. Also, if you're a new subscriber within the last couple of weeks, you may be saying, why is Caffeine Man not doing an energy drink review? Well, the truth is, this isn't an energy drink channel per se. It's a channel about all things caffeine related. When I first started this channel, I wasn't planning on it being an energy drink review channel. I figured I would do some energy reviews as well as caffeinated product reviews. But I did not expect it to turn into what it has turned into. But I do want to give you guys what you're looking for, and energy drinks seem to be what you guys want. But I still insist on doing informative caffeine videos because that was the goal when I started this channel. I wanted to inform people about caffeine safety and caffeine awareness. It's all fun and games to be drinking these energy drinks and get your boosted energy up and to help keep you going, but you always need to do it responsibly. Therefore, I post these videos every now and again to remind you to please be safe with your caffeine intake. I've done videos on how much is too much caffeine, as well as pet safety, and several other informative videos. So I'm fitting this one in there because I put some of them on hold for a while. Now, I know this video isn't going to be for everyone, so some of you are going to click away. But before you click away, just know that I am attempting to do a bonus video this week so that you guys can get your caffeine fix with an energy drink review. There's no promises that I'm going to be able to get to it, but I'm going to try hard for you guys because I know I have different subscribers that want different things. I'm trying to keep everybody happy with the limited amount of time that I have. So now if you didn't click away, thank you so much for staying. Let's get into this topic. I probably won't have any timestamps below, but I'm not sure just yet because this topic is just one big long topic. So I'm not really sure where it would actually break. I do plan on doing a basic intro as to why I started this video. Then I'm going to go over the several methods of detoxing, as well as additional tips and products that can help you as well. So, why a video on detoxing from caffeine? Well, as I briefly mentioned in my opening, several people can develop medical conditions in which caffeine isn't good for them. And if they have caffeine on a regular basis, whether it's from coffee or energy drinks, and they need to cut it down drastically, they need to know how. Granted, I'm not a doctor or anything, so your doctor will probably just tell you to do it cold turkey, or he or she will tell you to wean it down, but how do you do it? It's tough. Now, another medical condition that can happen is anxiety. If you have anxiety or panic attacks, caffeine will not help the situation out at all. Caffeine has actually been known to cause panic attacks in some people. In those cases, they had to cut it out of their diet. Additionally, as we grow older, people can develop heart conditions. Not specifically from the caffeine, of course, just heart conditions in general. If you have a heart condition, caffeine is not going to be good for it. There are also some people that don't know the side effects of too much caffeine, and their bodies become accustomed to it. Therefore, they just keep upping the amount of caffeine to be able to keep up with the energy level that they want to be at. Then they get to a point where they're actually relying on caffeine just to keep them going, as opposed to occasionally having caffeine to help give you a boost. Once you become reliant on it is when it can become a problem. There have been plenty of people in my comments that let me know how much caffeine they have, and I'm always interested in to hear what those numbers are. I know what my average is. I'd like to hear what other people's averages are too. But I do get some comments where people say, I have 1,500 milligrams without a problem and I'm perfectly fine. And to those people, I say, okay. But in the back of my head, I'm always thinking, yeah, you may be okay now, but that's not healthy for anyone. It's gonna catch up to you. And when it does, I'm gonna be here to help you out. Now, to get a little technical here, there are some people that have absolutely no problems with excessive caffeine. And those rare people may just have it in their genetics. Caffeine is metabolized in the body by an enzyme called cytochrome P450-1A2, shortly referred to as CYP1A2. Everyone has two copies of a gene by the same name. Now, there are two variations of this gene which affect how quickly a person can metabolize caffeine. The CYP1A2-1A makes an enzyme that will metabolize caffeine faster. However, the second one, CYP1A2-1F, metabolizes caffeine more slowly. Now, people that inherit two copies of the faster one from each parent, can metabolize caffeine a lot faster than someone who just has the regular genes. In general, people will usually have a fast one and a slow one to balance out. But there are also cases where some people have both of the slow ones, and those are the people that are extremely sensitive to caffeine. Therefore, if you actually have a lot of caffeine without any problems, there's a chance that you might have both of the fast genes. But it is relatively rare. So don't think that you're special, because you might not be. Alright? Be safe with your caffeine. Yeah, you. 1500 guy. Pushing your limits. Now, as a quick side note, occasionally people ask me, well, where are your references? Why should we believe you? Well, I'll admit it, I'm usually kind of lazy to go through and put all my references down there, and I just hope that you guys will believe me. But for all the naysayers, let me give you a general idea of where I get my information from. Some of my go-to medical ones are WebMD and Healthline, and a very useful website about caffeine is Caffeine Informer. They do a great job going over all things caffeine related as well. In addition to that, Green Eyed Guide has an amazing website that has tons of information from a science perspective, and she even has a YouTube channel as well. I'll include it in my end screen. But it was one of the main go-to websites a decade ago when I first started looking into energy drinks, well before Caffeine Man ever existed. When I had a question about caffeine or an energy drink, I went to the Green Eyed Guide website to find my answers. I also occasionally find articles from the New York Post, the Washington Post, the American Heart Association, the FDA, and many other reputable sources. I don't ever listen to any articles from random websites that may just be pushing their own agenda. And even when I go to these reputable websites, I always cross-reference with another website just to see if they're in agreement. Moving on, a quick word about caffeine safe limits. If you haven't watched any of my other informative videos, the Mayo Clinic and the FDA both state that 400 milligrams is the maximum amount a person should have in a day. That is their safe limit number. Now, the website Caffeine Informer actually has a calculator which calculates how much caffeine you can have by weight. A larger person should be able to handle more caffeine than a smaller person. That being said, everybody processes caffeine differently based on those genes and many other factors. So the Mayo Clinic comes up with 400 as a general safe limit for everybody, and Caffeine Informer gives you some wiggle room based on your weight. People who also haven't watched many of my videos will say, hey, Caffeine Man, how much caffeine do you have per day? And I've mentioned it in several of my videos. But for those of you asking it again, I usually have between 200 milligrams and 600 milligrams a day. On days where I have 600 or higher, the next day I try to lower it to below 400. I do try to lower it the next day so that I maintain a balance between the average of 400. I know what the safe limits are, and I definitely don't want to go too high over them. And that's just an average. I've been as low as 100 a day, and on very rare occasions, I've hit the 1200 mark, which is my max. I don't recommend it for anybody. As for children, I know that there are a lot of people that are under 18 that watch my channel, and they're only supposed to have between 100 and 150 milligrams of caffeine a day. The 150 is when you're older, closer to that 18-year-old age, and the 100 is a lot younger, closer to 12 years old. No bang or rain for you. No, too much. That's 300. But unfortunately, I know that they have it anyway. I actually saw these two kids. They actually watch my channel. So, hello guys. And they actually said, hey, we have an energy drink channel too. You should come check it out. I didn't know who they were. I said, you know what, let me go check out their channel. And there were these two kids. I was shocked. I was shocked. They were two kids. They had to be maybe 12 years old, maybe 13-ish. And they were reviewing Bang energy drinks. I couldn't watch the whole thing because I couldn't watch it. Not because it was a bad video if you guys are watching, but 12 and 13-year-olds shouldn't be drinking Bang or Reign or any highly caffeinated energy drinks, let alone doing a review on it. I appreciate that you might like my channel, but please watch my other videos to know that children shouldn't be having that much caffeine. You guys don't need it. You can run circles around me without it. And the reason for that is because kids' bodies are still developing. As people grow older, they can develop heart conditions, but they have found heart conditions when you're younger as well. So if you're a child who's still developing and have an undiagnosed heart condition, energy drinks aren't good for it. And in general, anything over 150 isn't healthy for a child anyway. These drinks clearly say not recommended for people over 18, and there's a reason for that. It's a safety reason. Let's talk about some detoxing. If you're over 600 milligrams a day, I recommend considering a detox to get you slightly lower, because every single human on the planet should be able to function okay without any caffeine in their system. I mean, cavemen didn't have caffeine, and they seem to do well. Well, actually, we live a lot longer than cavemen, don't we? I'm sure it wasn't the caffeine, though. At least I don't think it was. Anyway, caffeine is a drug. It's a legal drug, and it's one of the most addictive legal drugs on the market without much regulation. So if you're someone that has 1,000 milligrams or more a day, I highly recommend a detox. Why? Because of the side effects. According to Healthline, here are some of the side effects of caffeine. Anxiety. Although caffeine is known to increase alertness, at higher doses, these effects can become more pronounced, leading to anxiety and nervousness. Insomnia. We all know that people use caffeine to help them stay awake. Therefore, it's no surprise that if we have too much caffeine, it could cause insomnia. And even though some of you may think, oh, I get enough sleep, like when I get 7 hours, I'm like, yeah, more than 5 hours, I got 7 hours of sleep. Too much caffeine could still make that a non-restorative sleep. Restorative sleep is a healthy kind of sleep that helps your brain recharge. If you have a solid 6 to 8 hour sleep without interruption, that's restorative sleep, or longer. But if you're restless from caffeine and tend to wake up during that 6 to 8 hours or longer, it's not a restorative sleep. Although caffeine is known to provide energy, it can indirectly lead to fatigue when that caffeine wears off, especially from higher dosages. This is what they refer to as rebound fatigue. Additional side effects are headaches, dizziness, rapid heartbeat, higher blood pressure, and looser stool. Caffeine Informer and several other websites recommend 2 detoxing methods. Now the first one is one that I do not recommend. It's going cold turkey. Going cold turkey on anything is a difficult task, especially if it's an addictive drug. Now I know some of you may be hardcore, and when you give stuff up, you give it up cold turkey. But not everyone's able to do that, even the hardcore people. Additionally, if you have a high caffeine intake and you decide to go cold turkey, there are going to be a lot of negative side effects, and there's a whole list of them that I'm not even going to go into because I do not recommend cold turkey. What I do recommend is the second method. The second method is weaning yourself off caffeine slowly. This is the most popular method recommended by the entire internet. Okay, well, not the entire internet, but you know what I mean. A lot of places recommend this method, and Caffeine Man agrees. Weaning, as its name implies, means coming off of caffeine slowly over time, and you basically gradually reduce the amount of caffeine intake you have. It's recommended that the dosage you decrease by is usually about 10 to 30 milligrams every 3 days. You should continue to do this until you hit the level that you want to be at, or if you're trying to eliminate it, just go to 0. Normally this is achieved by just drinking less beverages that have caffeine in them than you normally would have. Now when it comes to weaning, I'm actually going to include a link down below to a free downloadable book, and it was actually made from the creator of Caffeine Informer. He went in detail on how to do a full detox, and it has a lot of great useful information, and I pulled a lot of that information and incorporated it into this video. If you want to read the whole thing, I'll include the free download below. Not only does it talk about detoxing, but it actually gives his story as to how he started Caffeine Informer, and a lot of other useful information and things I didn't know. But primarily, it does heavily go over detoxing as well. Hello, plant. Doing well. In addition to lowering your caffeine by 10 to 30 milligrams every 3 days, there are other things that you can do to help lessen any negative side effects. First off, drink lots of water. Dehydration can make any potential headaches a lot worse, so you should always drink plenty of fluids, including water. Fatigue, tiredness, and motivation. How do you deal with these things? Usually you'd have an energy drink, but we're trying to cut back on those. Eating a healthy diet is going to be the most effective solution to feeling more energized. Eating more fruits and vegetables will put more nutrients into your body to provide more energy and get your body back to functioning at its normal level. Additionally, if you're focusing on eating healthy, try to get more B vitamins and C vitamins, as those are the vitamins that they put in energy drinks because they provide energy. Therefore, if you can eat more vitamin B and vitamin C, getting your B vitamins from energy drinks to actually eating your B vitamins instead. Plus, isn't it a good idea just to start eating healthier anyway? Constipation. No, I don't have a picture for that one. Okay, maybe I do. Drinking a lot of water and eating a high fiber, healthy diet are the most natural ways of getting your digestive tract going, despite not having caffeine to stimulate it. You should aim for about 50 to 60 grams of fiber in your daily diet while detoxing. Patience and willpower. This is highly recommended because it's not easy to detox from caffeine and you want to be done with it as soon as possible. The problem is, at only 10 to 30 milligrams every 3 days, it could take a while to detox from that. And personally, I say if you're actually at a higher amount, closer to the 1500 milligrams a day, you're going to want to go down by more than 30 milligrams for the first 3 days. I'd recommend you going down by about 50 milligrams every 3 days until you get to a lower number such as 1100 or even 1000 before you actually switch over to 20 to 30 milligrams every 3 days. If you start to feel negative side effects at 50, and you're already trying all these other things to combat the negative side effects, then maybe you want to switch to 30. But if you can handle 50 every 3 days, I recommend doing that because then you'll be able to detox faster. But for each person, their results are going to be different. Ibuprofen. Having ibuprofen on you is going to be good for dealing with your headaches, but obviously nothing that has caffeine in it, like Excedrin, and a few other ones that do have caffeine as an ingredient. Now, here are some more additional tips that I think may be useful to you while you're detoxing. We already went over drinking more water, but even though drinking more fluids is good, drinking just water can be pretty boring. Another great way to help you detox, as well as being hydrated, is green tea. Green tea is the second healthiest drink on the planet, falling short to first place, which is actually water. Green tea has tons of health benefits to it, and if you're going to be detoxing, you want something that's going to be healthy. Green tea has tons of antioxidants, and these antioxidants are going to help your body greatly. Also, green tea has low amounts of caffeine in it, and it's a great way to gradually lower your caffeine intake. Of course, one word of advice is to not have green tea on an empty stomach. Some people have been known to have nausea, as well as upset stomach, due to all the antimicrobial properties and antioxidants that are supposed to help with gut health, but you usually need some food in your system. Not everyone likes green tea though. So, you can also have black tea if you'd like. Black tea also has antioxidants in it, just not as much as green tea, but still more than most beverages on the market. So black tea will help you out as well. Black tea also has more caffeine in it than green tea, but it still has less than most coffees do. Therefore, if you're a coffee drinker and you're trying to detox from caffeine, you'll actually be able to do it with black tea as well, and it's easy to do the math by cutting it in half. And because tea has less caffeine than coffee, it could become your new best friend. It's a great way of detoxing, it's a great way to stay hydrated, and it's a great substitution for water, or an addition to the water that you're taking. Plus, there are so many kinds of tea out there. There are hundreds, maybe even thousands of varieties of tea, so you're bound to find one that you're gonna like. And if you want to learn more about tea and its health properties, I did a tea talk series which has 3 videos in it that go over everything tea related. I'll include that in the description below, or feel free to check out my channel. I think it's at the bottom of my homepage. You'll see it. Ltheanine. Ltheanine has always been a favorite of mine because its combined effects with caffeine, but it still does amazing stuff on its own. L-theanine is an amino acid which most commonly comes from beverages such as green tea and can help with any anxiety or depression leading from caffeine withdrawal. It can also help you feel more alert in the absence of caffeine. When L-theanine and caffeine are combined, you get a much greater focus as well as concentration, but without the caffeine, you still get a greater amount of focus, just without the extra energy. If you don't actually like green tea though, to get your L-theanine, you can actually buy L-theanine as a supplement at your local supplement store or vitamin shop. Caffeine gum. I always recommend having a pack of caffeine gum on you at all times, even if you're not detoxing. But let's say you are detoxing and you want to reduce your caffeine account. Why would you want caffeine gum on you? Well, some people might not be able to have a lot of ibuprofen because it bothers their stomach. Therefore, if you ever feel a headache coming on due to caffeine withdrawal, you just pop a piece of gum, and these pieces have about 40 to 50 milligrams of caffeine. I thought that it was 40, but when I looked at the website, I got conflicting information, and other places have said that it's between 40 and 45 milligrams per piece. Whatever the case may be, when you chew caffeine gum, the caffeine is absorbed through your oral membranes, which actually goes into your system faster than if you were to ingest it. The caffeine can actually get into your system within a matter of 10 to 20 minutes, which is much faster than if you drank an energy drink. So if you do feel a headache coming on, you can actually pop a piece of caffeine gum, which is only 40 milligrams of caffeine, and it should hold off that headache until your next dose of green tea or caffeinated beverage. Chocolate. Who knew that detoxing could be so delicious? If you're trying to eliminate coffee or energy drinks from your diet, but you don't like green tea or you don't like tea in general, but you're still looking for a way to get some caffeine into your system besides just caffeine gum, you can use chocolate. Not just any chocolate. This is actually by a company called Awake. And there are a few other companies that do caffeinated chocolate as well that you can look into, but these little Awake chocolate bites have 50 milligrams of caffeine in them. So if you're looking to reduce from your 300 milligram energy drink or your 200 milligram energy drink or your 114 milligram energy drink, having a 50 milligram piece of chocolate is a delicious way to get a lower amount of caffeine in your system. By the way, this is not a sponsored video. Both Jolt and Awake didn't want to sponsor me, but I still love their products. I think they're great, so I'm going to keep promoting them. I mean, when you have the best product on the market, I'm not going to hold a grudge against you. These are good products, and they're good for helping with detox as well, due to their low caffeine intake. Hopefully you found this information useful, and like I said before, take a look at my description box down below. I'm going to include links to that free download, as well as a couple of my other videos that go over caffeine safety as well, and that ever so popular Tea Talk series. Wait till you see the views on that bad boy. Thank you guys for watching, and have yourselves a great day. Or night. I'm also going to count how many motorcycles go by that you guys can hear and put it at the end of the video, because there's a lot. Weather's nice, motorcycle, there's number one. Number one. They take a while to go by too. I live right near a light, so they're usually idling by the light, and when it turns green they go brum, 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 brum. Who knows how much time it'll add to the video though. It's probably going to be a long one to begin with. Alright, he's going. Number 2. There he goes. Hear him? 1A2. There's number 3. Not as loud as the others. Pushing your limits. Number 4. Hear him? Alright, he's gone now. You'll lower it to below 400. Number 5. Lost my track. Lost my train of thought. Well, actually, we live a lot longer than cavemen, don't we? Number 6. 6. 7? I lost track. I think that's 7. I should have wrote it down, but then I didn't really care that much. Whatever the case may be, when you chew caffeine gum, the caffeine is 10. I think that was 11. That was probably 11. Maybe it was 12. I might have missed one in there. But you can see all the motorcycles that go by. Now you guys know why it's so. Now you guys know why it's so tough for me to do the editing. Besides all my jump cuts, I got all those extra ones. Very surprising though. No police cars today. It's too nice of a day to be committing crimes.